As many of you already know, Haglöfs makes some of the finest outdoor gear in the market. And this year they've pulled out all the stops to create the Haglöf LIM Z range. So Haglöfs have done LIM for years now, and everyone assumes that's for running gear because less is more. However, it's not as simple as that. Basically, stripped down, functional, brilliant products. They can all sit under LIM. So this Zenith range I'm going to show you is all designed to work together. It's a synchronized layering system is what they're calling it. And it really does perform brilliantly. I've been testing it for over a year now, giving it some real hammer in Scotland lakes and in Wales in really bad weather actually. And it's been blown away with it. So this range has sort of been designed thinking you may be in Greenland or somewhere like that for weeks on end. You might not be able to get back and fix kit if it breaks. So they've tried to make it indestructible, really simple, no extra stuff you don't need, but the stuff you have got is burly, well designed and thought out. An enormous amount of testing and product innovation and retesting and tweaking has gone into this range, and the stats are incredible. They did a huge survey with lots of their athletes stomping up hills with different layers on, and every time they came back with these on, the results were impressive. I've got so much I could tell you about this whole range, but I'm going to start with the showpiece for me, the Mountain Pro jacket. So obviously there's tons of Gore-Tex jackets out there, and many of them are very simple because there's tried and tested sort of silhouettes that work really well, especially in the mountains, chest pockets, good hood, etc. But this one is really quite different. The thing that makes this jacket different to everything else on the market at the moment is the fact it's using Gore-Tex Stretch. So Gore-Tex Stretch has the same level of waterproofing as all Gore-Tex Pro jackets, which is the highest on the market. And this is softer, quieter, and obviously it has stretch. Even though the cut is pretty much perfect for me, I would say, it just feels a little bit more movable. You feel happier leaving it on. It's a bit quieter, and if you do get caught in any way, there's some give in there as well. So like I said before, LIM stands for less is more. So there isn't huge amounts of features on this jacket, but what is there is perfectly designed and really solid and well made. Two huge chest pockets with really oversized zippers are brilliant. So if you are wearing big mitts or gloves, you can get in there really easily. Even inside the pocket, there's another little stash pocket to stop things rattling around and falling out. And inside the jacket, there's a pull cord around the waist so you can pull it in really nice and snug. If you're just wearing a base layer or something skinny, you want it snug and fitted, yet when you want to layer up and get everything on because it's really cold, you can release that and let it out. And again, that's with that paracord, so you could fix it if you need to. And it just gives that extra bit of durability. The cuffs are just beautifully designed. They just know you're gonna have big gloves on, so there's a nice big tab on the end there. Reinforcements on the inside, just if you're scuffing it and using it day after day. It's gonna last a long time, this. You'll also notice an interesting little feature here, little loops on each arm. So I've worn mitts quite a lot, and you do sort of end up strapping them to your hand so you don't drop them in the mountains. So you can just hook it on there. If you were skiing across a glacier or something like that for days on end, you want to keep dropping your gloves, but not on the floor, they'll blow away. Quite handy. It's not going to be for everyone, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Again, the underarm pit zips are great if you do need to vent, and the zippers have got those oversized pull cords on them as well, so you're not going to miss that. Really easy to use, and they're not going to snag like lots do. And again, oversized zippers on the two-way zip here. Those zigzag patterns that I talked about on the wrist, they're also on the bottom here and on the shoulders, so if you're wearing a rucksack, which you probably will be repeatedly, just gives real good reinforcement so you're not bobbling up the fabric, which can sometimes lead to soaking up more moisture. The hood is really clever. So the hood obviously will swallow a helmet, which you'll probably be wearing most of the time. But if you're not, it also does cinch down nice and tight, so it will stay on your head if you're not wearing a helmet. The way they've designed that a little bit differently to everyone else is they put the pull cord on the outside of the hood. And instead of using bungee, they use like a paracord. That's quite well designed, really. If you are in the hills and something breaks, that's external. You can see it, you can fix it. It's stuff you can just tie up and use your own bit of string. So it's not going to cause you an issue if you're, say, out for 3 weeks and it breaks on you. You can sort it out yourself. Another cool, lovely feature is this little popper that's on the back. I wonder what that was for at first, but the hood can actually pop down onto there. So when you're not wearing your hood, it doesn't flap around and drive you crazy. It sort of sits neatly on the back. But when you want it, just pull it out, straight on your head. And I have properly tried it as well. That popper does seem to cause no issues with the rucksacks, which I was really convinced it would, but neatly sits away and doesn't rub at all. So with all this comfort and freedom of movement and access to everything, you will just leave it on all day. And when you've got all these layers appropriately sorted, you do feel comfortable to exercise hard and leave it all on. So the ZT down jacket. Please bear with me, I've got so much to tell you about this. I'll try and keep it brief. This is amazing, lots of innovation going on again here, combining the highest quality 800 fill hydrophobic down, which has been tested and can perform and keep you warm and dry for up to 10,000 minutes of damp conditions, and it'll still keep performing. Think about down jackets in the past, never get them wet. So this will just keep you secure in the hills when you're just unsure about down jacket doing its job. Something that's really clever is the baffles they've actually used for the down. So you can only see inside, but they're tiny little micro baffles. They're lightly spaced, there's actually a little gap in between. They actually lie on top of each other, filling that void, keeping the warmth up there, but that also strips a bit of weight as well. But what's quite interesting, if you do end up working hard in a down jacket, which I would recommend not doing, and the vapor builds up inside, your hot air will push through those gaps and allow it to breathe better than a standard down jacket would. This gives you sort of the best of both worlds. So if you weren't fully convinced about the down keeping you warm in the wet conditions, there's also an overlay of their Mimic graphene synthetic insulation. So that just protects the down from that damp. If the damp did get in there, it's also hydrophobic, as we've just discussed. So the Mimic Essence synthetic fibers are amazing things. So like really light, acts like down, but it offers that sort of barrier. So there's no gaps, keeps more wind out as well, because there's no stitching issues like baffles give. So real good warmth trapped in there, but also keeping the weather out and performing well in the damp conditions. So this Mimic synthetic fiber that's used in here to keep you warm is actually coated and combined with graphene as well. That's because graphene conducts heat. So just when you think you're about to lose your heat or escape from the jacket in a normal one, it might just do another lap or get trapped back in because it's getting circulated and keeps nice and warm and stays with you for longer. It also helps sort of warm up quicker because it'll spread your warmth over the jacket and then trap it in just when you normally get to the end and lose it. A lot of the features I talked about on the waterproof are also on this jacket as well. So the big zip pullers, we've got the little toggles here again for your gloves if you need to. Reinforcements under the arm, so if it is really cold and you're working in this and rubbing it against the jacket, you're going to keep it a bit more durable because lightweight down there would get a bit destroyed. We've got the popper on the hood again, so it's not going to blow away in the wind and it will just pull out whenever you're ready. Really amazing, well-designed piece of kit this. Another really cool feature as well is like if you were working hard in the waterproof, say, and you put your map or your phone or something like that in your inside pocket and you need to get to it, but this is on, you don't want to unzip your big full zip. So this here is not a chest pocket. This actually allows you to reach inside and get to your internal waterproof pocket. And of course it features two cozy hand pockets with the insulation sat on top to keep really nice and warm in there. So a huge amount of warmth, versatility, protection for 650 grams. Please bear in mind as well, these are quite oversized, expecting lots of layers. This is actually a medium and I'm 6'4", so bear that in mind. So stripping down the layers. So I bet you've not seen many layers like this before. This is the LIM Sync 1 mid layer. So let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Poppers instead of zips. So a few reasons they've done this. You think again what I said before, you're out in the wild for quite a long time. Poppers generally don't break, zips can get snagged. Poppers also sit lovely and flat, so if you are layering, they feel much more comfortable than maybe a zip would. There's also a really good ethical nod here as well. So zips are notoriously hard to recycle or make out of recycled fabrics. Poppers, however, can be made out of recycled plastic and also be recycled. In fact, all the materials in this product are recycled. So this layer is really built to perform. This is totally function over form. So you're wearing it under your waterproof and you're working hard. It gives you a real good loft and it just gets your air moving better than anything you've probably used before. It's made out of PowerTech Power Air and Power Dry. So that really gets moisture moving really well, very gridded with a really smooth, hard-wearing face fabric on the top as well. So you can give it a real good hammer. So this sat on top of just a nice base layer or like PowerTech Alpha or something like that, gives that little bit of loft and they really pump air really well, especially with the jacket on top. It's going to perform better than probably anything you've tried before. Again, all these features are well designed in this layering system. The pockets are really nicely configured because you've already got a couple of layers on as well, so why would it be down here? Probably got a harness on or something like that, so you can reach inside your waterproof and get into this strategically placed pocket. Again, the hood is amazing. It's really snug. It's to go under your helmet, and they've got these holes in the neck bit here, so you can clip your helmet strap under there, keeping the collar up really high, nice and warm, nice and cozy. No fiddling. So this layer needs to be tried and tested to be believed. You work hard with this and a shell on top. It just performs brilliantly. Quite possibly my favorite out of the whole range is the Pro trousers. So you'd think, why are trousers your favourite? Especially as there's nothing absolutely mind-blowing going on here, but just everything about it has been done to perfection for me. On the Pro pant, they've combined two different Gore-Texes. So they've got Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable in most of the body, with the Gore-Tex Stretch on the knee to give you that extra bit of movement that no one else has. The full-length waterproof zip allows you to put it on even if you've already got your crampons on or you're wearing skis, and really well-placed pockets mean you can actually get to them while wearing a harness. We'll see again those really nice big pull cords as well, so if you're wearing gloves it's easy to do. And what I really like is the Velcro tabs on the waist, because I don't always want to wear braces with these sort of things. So you can put them on afterwards without having to take your rucksack off or things like that. And they will stay up so you can adjust the waist. Having that little bit of stretch in the knee also allows them to be slightly slimmer down the bottom of a lot of trousers, because a lot of waterproof pants are like quite baggy to give you the movement, whereas these can be nice and slim. You can actually tighten them up with the poppers we've got down the bottom as well. So when you're climbing technical routes or ski touring or something like that, you don't want them flapping around. They feel nice and slim, a bit more like a soft shell. So just like the jacket, it's got the 40 denier face fabric, and it just feels really nice sort of balance between durability and weight. And they've got the all-important reinforced crampon patch as well. I think another great thing about these, which is just quite a simple thing, is the fact that they are black and they do sort of look more like a normal trouser than a lot. You can actually wear them even if you're not climbing something gnarly on Ben Nevis. You can actually just go for a walk in the Lake District and stay dry without looking like a mountaineer. If you do prefer your waterproof trousers with sort of braces, they have got the attachments that you can just stick them on there. The Haglöfs are hugely considerate about the environment and their ethics and what they're doing with products as well. So nearly this whole range is Blue Sign approved. It might actually all be, I'd have to check. But also there's lots of recycled content in there as well. And it's really built to last. So this should last you years and years and years. So give it some thought. Maybe go for this because it's going to get you that longevity, which of course is better for the environment than replacing and using again. So whether you're just choosing one jacket or one pant out of the range, you'll be amazed by how it performs. However, if you try the whole range together, I think you'll be blown away by the performance. Get that air moving, have the most protective gear on the market, and really push your limits of what you can do.